Amish or solar grazing? I found this video on YouTube from CBS, and they did a really great documentary or explanation of what solar grazing is. As you can see, you have some goats here that are grazing underneath the solar panels, and it's very positive, very innovative, and the way the future may be going. But myself, being a skeptic, I had a lot of questions about this. And those questions I will answer today. If you want to see this whole video, like I said, it's very positive, innovative. Go ahead and look at the link below, and you can kind of get a better explanation of what that is. Basically, before I ask some questions, it's when you take animals and let them graze underneath the panels. Now, some people might say, well, what type of animals? This sounds great. First of all, notice that those are sheep that are grazing. That has been found right away. My husband and I were talking, and we said there's no way you can put cows in there because cows are very huge. They weigh a couple thousand pounds, and when they want to scratch their back, they're going to come up to that solar panel and just start rubbing on it, and most likely start doing lots of damage. They already do damage to fencing. What do you think they would do to solar panels? So horses, animals, any large animals will not work. What about goats? Goats are great. They're small, they graze, they eat a lot. Goats will eat anything. So goats are a problem because they will eat the cable. So they will not work either. Pigs are very damaging as well. They like to dig and probably would not be a good fit as well. So basically, sheep and free-range poultry have been the two animals that the industry has found success with. Now, I have chickens, and I don't know if I would want 1,000 or 2,000 hens or chickens running around on top of my solar panels, because then, honestly, you're going to have chicken shit all over the place. And that would not be fun to clean up. And you're going to get it on the panels. They are not selective where they go. I personally don't see that as a good fit. So that is basically what solar grazing is. And it looks like at this point that the only animal that will work maybe successfully would be sheep. How large is the sheep industry in the United States? I don't know. I have some video here where these are actual solar panels that are from my area. I live in Southern Ohio, and they're popping up all over the place in Ohio like crazy. They're called solar panel farms. None of them have had animals grazing on them as of yet, from what I have seen. However, one of the things that I question is, what does it do to the value of a home? We have found homes that are on 2 or 3 acres, maybe an acre, and then totally surrounded by solar panels. So the solar panel industry came in, they bought all the farmland and left the home there. I don't know if that owner of the home sold their farmland and then just stayed there, or if they didn't own the land and ended up getting built around them. The value of a home within a mile of a solar panel farm will go down. And from what I'm reading, it said it only went down like 2%. I am, again, skeptical of that. I would not in a million years buy a house that close to a solar panel farm. That's just me. But the value will go down, according to my research, not drastically. Again, I disagree with that. Are solar panel fields pleasing to the eye? I, again, am a skeptic. I've driven past these and they are not. I'm going to show you some video here. Would you rather be driving and see these beautiful Amish farms or beautiful countryside? Or would you like to be driving and see these solar panel farms? Now, I know a lot of people are industrialized, and especially people from the city, they're probably saying, well, this is great. It's giving us electricity. We don't give a shit what your country looks like out there. But those of us that live in the country, that's why we live here. We love to drive down the road and see trees and cornfields and soybean fields. That is very pleasing to the eye. But if you're driving down the road and you're used to seeing all that lush green and the farmland, and then all of a sudden you see these solar panels, it is very disruptive. It's not pleasing to the eye. On top of that, how long do solar panels even last? Like, nothing lasts forever, and they last 25 to 30 years. Well, what happens after that? Where do they go when they die? Well, from my research, I found all these wonderful articles about how they are recycled and broken apart. And I think in 3 different directions. You can do the framing, you can take the glass out, and then the wiring, and the rest goes in the trash. I, again, have my doubts. When you have your big screen TV and you're done with it, where do you think it goes? Do you think it's going to a recycling plant and they're tearing it all apart in little pieces and reusing all of that, or is it going into the dump? I would bet on the dump. I personally don't see that wonderful recycling happening. I haven't seen it all my life. I can remember being in elementary school 40, 50 years ago in school and teachers talking about recycling and how wonderful it is. Metric system was supposed to be here by now too, right? It's not. And I have not seen it. I have not seen evidence of it. And it sounds wonderful, but is it really going to happen? I don't know. My last question that I had, do solar panels emit toxins? Like, can that be healthy? I know there are some solar panel farms that are also talking about farming, agriculture underneath of the panels. And of course, what we're talking about today is grazing. Now, people are raising sheep. I would assume some of those sheep may be going out for being sold to be butchered, to be eaten, or are they only being used for their wool? I don't know how big the wool industry is this time in our century, but either way, are there toxins being emitted from the solar panels? From my research, there are different metals in different solar panels. So it depends on the company making it, but some of the metals like lead, cadmium, silver, and arsenic are different metals that are harmful to the human health, and it's also harmful to the environment if they're found in high levels. So the argument may be, well, this one panel has very small levels of those metals in it. But what happens when you have hundreds of acres of solar panels, which these are built on? I've seen hundreds and hundreds of acres. You just keep driving past them. What is it doing to our environment? Again, I'm not an expert, but I am skeptical. My opinion. So how do the Amish feel about this? The Amish are so low key. Like when you bring these things up, they're like, everything's God's will. They always figure it out. Because I still wonder, what are they going to do when we go to a digital dollar? But, they'll figure it out. But the Amish have been around for hundreds of years, and they have kept their old ways for hundreds of years, the best that they could. And I do believe that they'll survive this as well, unless the government comes in and makes them sell their land. I don't know if we see that happening anytime soon. There's so much other land out there. But the Amish will continue in their way. And I am blessed to live amongst them. And I hope that, most of the land that's close by will stay with the Amish, and we'll still continue to be able to drive down the road and see all the beautiful farmland, our Amish neighbors out there working it, and continue to have something that is very pleasing to the eye as God created it for us to see. Those are my opinions about the solar panel farms. You may have a different one. Like I said, go ahead and watch the video that I was inspired by. Personally, I'm a skeptic. I don't see it as a good thing, but we'll see. You have a blessed day, and I'll see you on the next video. Give me your thoughts below.